Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Before I begin, does anyone have disclosure of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, I'll move along to the adoption of the previous minutes. May I have a mover and a seconder for those minutes? Moved by Anita, seconded by Ian, that the minutes dated July 29th, 2025 of the Short-Term Rental Committee be adopted as circulated. Does anyone have any questions on those minutes? Seeing none, all in favor of that motion? Well, we're doing good. We're moving right along. Motion is carried. Short-term rental, 4.1. Okay, how do you suggest we go about this?
Majority of the package was created by Kelly, so I'll let Kelly take the lead. But this is obviously in response to council endorsing the draft bylaw and recommending that the committee proceed to public consultation. So,
Okay, so Kelly, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
I think I've included most of the information in the package. Public consultation will take place in September. There'll be a variety of different mediums through the website, online feedback, as well as the planned open house that we had set for September 20th at the Kingsbridge Center. I guess I'm just looking for feedback on the items that we provided.
So you mean items 1 to 5 under the informative displays? That's the feedback you'd like?
Yes, and some of the handouts that we included in the package.
Okay. Who wants to start? Ian?
Is the feedback page available now? I tried to go on, I couldn't find anything in it.
No, it would start on September 2nd.
Okay.
I wanted to run it by this committee first before we post it online.
That's a good idea. Anita?
I'm not sure if I should be asking this on the feedback page, but when we were doing the draft bylaw, there was some comments that the bylaw seemed very onerous. And I think, Ian, were you gonna sort of do a run through? Because I have a feeling that's gonna be, when you talk about feedback, I have a feeling that's gonna be a lot of the feedback.
I was going to do a run through it. I gave it to my coordinator, my daughter, and she looked at it and says, "What's the sense of doing it?" Says she's got a lot of it done, but she can't go ahead and do all of it from scratch. But she said she's got about 20 hours in the book that we give out, and she says she thinks to do what the township's asking would probably be another 6 hours on top of that. But again, the book we have is also it's a tourist book too. So we're telling people we've got a map for where people can go for shopping, where they can go for dinners, and it's fairly elaborate. But not everybody would have to do that. And we review that every year, and it's got the hospitals in it and how to get all that kind of stuff. And she's gone well above and beyond what is being asked here. But as far as doing the basics, she says 6 hours could probably be done with her doing it. And she's got a good computer background and she's quite good on the computer, far better than I am.
Florence?
so one of the documents that is presented is the short-term rental bylaw, easy to understand summary.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did is we took the draft bylaw and took out the pieces of what exactly it is. So taking out the legal jargon and some of the complex words, the repetitive words, and kind of surmising, it says, what is the bylaw for? And then it has a description. Do I need a license? And then it says, what are the basic rules? And there are 5 points about what the basic rules are, which each one would probably have mostly its own heading, that kind of thing. So the committee did request that that be available. And that would be one of the handouts that we would propose to give at not only available online throughout the commenting period, but also at the public open house. And as well as the draft bylaw itself for anybody who's interested in reading the full legislation. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I can go further on that, that's great. I think that's a great idea. And to summarize it and condense it to what's really important, I think is key to the public consultation. I really feel that that's going to be what is going to be front and center when people see the whole bylaw. Is there a way that we could, I don't know if at the public consultation or presented at the public consultation, a fake address an STR, 1, 2, 3, 4 anywhere lane, and go through it and determine how long it took to do that for an average 2-bedroom cottage, lakefront, whatever, so that we could say at the public consultation, we did have a staff member or a member of the committee that went through this, and I do appreciate what Ian's saying, but it sounds like it's a little bit more intensive than what we're talking about here. That we could say at the public consultation that, yes, we had somebody go through it, and this is how long you can expect that it probably will take for the average person. Yes, Jennifer, do you have a question?
Thank you for calling on me. I'm like, oh. Okay. Imagine if this was at 7 o'clock at night, how ridiculous I'd be. I think that's an excellent idea, and I would be willing to volunteer as the director of Kingsbridge. We're doing a short-term rental. Should that be available to us, I could do that because then they can see it right next door if they want to, and we would have it laid out. If we're going to do it anyway, which we are, I have no problem giving pre-board approval that we would do that before it. I wouldn't officially be able to, of course, tell you that we'll do it. I could do it. I'll just say we're going to do it. But the next board meeting is in 2 weeks, so I would be glad to volunteer that Kingsbridge does it if it's available.
That makes total sense to me. And I think it would be a good example because some people would look at Kingsbridge short-term rental as, well, that's way bigger than what I have, and if that's how long it took them, then mine should probably be less.
Yeah, and then I could be the one to do it, and I'd say I'm lousy on the computer, and I actually have nothing to do with the rental of this. I'm just on the board, so I did it as if it's all new to me because it is. Me doing it would probably be as slow as it would possibly be. We would have to put that in the caveat that many people would be able to do it faster than Jennifer, but she did it. I'd be quite happy to do that.
And I think keeping in mind that if you're going to do that, if the committee approves that in the bylaw where it says, a drawing of where the septic is, a drawing of where the driveway is, a drawing of where the parking is, that, you're not going to scale and all this stuff. You're doing it as the bylaw intended for it to be, sort of a rough sketch of what it looks like.
So I was going to give that to the building committee and they would have done it to scale, but now I'll just do a hand-drawn thing.
Well, I
Fine.
think that's what the bylaw is asking for.
I
so
know.
We should be doing it according to what the bylaw.
I was delegating, but I will not delegate. Fine.
Just do it, Jennifer. Anyway, I'd look for other members of the committee for input on that.
Would you like to call on them
Suggestion.
too? Because you did a great job calling on me. Okay, does anyone have any comments on what Anita suggested and what I offered? Ian,
Does Huron County have a interactive map? Is it easy to get onto?
I'm well versed in it, so I don't think I'm the right person to ask. But yes, there is an interactive map. It's easy to get onto. It's easy to zoom in, and if you can, to me, the measuring tools are quite user friendly. Yes,
I can use Bruce County, but I can't use Huron.
it's the same. You can't. Oh, I thought it was the same platform.
I haven't had any luck with it.
Well,
Maybe I'm not getting the right page.
maybe not. I don't know, but
sounds like it's hard.
Well, it might be hard for my brain, but it might be easy for somebody else.
It is a tool available for people to go and have an aerial view of their property if they're looking for dimensions in terms of measurements from, the measurements from the property lines, those kinds of things. Is that what you were getting at?
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, okay.
But again, if it's got tree coverage, then you're not going to see the
No, you
building.
won't see that from if
If it's like Bruce County.
it's, August when they took the picture as opposed to, February.
Anita, and then Mike.
Remind me again on that, when you're talking about that interactive map, do they have an autofill for the application? that you can autofill on your computer, or do you have to actually print it off and write it out and submit it?
The application will have like it'll be PDF fillable. So, and I think, I think the PDF will be fillable. Yeah.
And just to clarify, that PDF version will be available. Are we making it available to me early?
Yes.
Or it's not available online yet? We'll make it
No,
available to me.
yeah,
Okay.
we will have it available for you, and then we will have sample copies at the public consultation
Okay.
too.
Thank you. Mike?
Yes, just cycling back to the issue of public feedback and our open house. This coming long weekend, I believe I'm on the agenda to speak to the short-term rental bylaw at both the Shamrock Beach Association and also the Huron Sands Beach Association. So I will have a little bit of a sense as far as what the mood in the room is. Before we get into the official public consultation piece. And I'd be happy to share whatever feedback I get from those two meetings with the rest of the committee members. But my other question is, since we're running the consultation starting September 2nd, and our open house is on September 20th, would it be possible just to get a short summary of any feedback that comes in prior to September 20th, so that those of us that are participating in the open house are sort of get a sense for the direction that questions might be coming from?
Florence?
What we can do is any feedback that we receive up until that point, we could share, say, via email to the committee members in, a PDF document. I anticipate that we'll have something much more full picture after that as well. But kind of a preliminary, these are the issues that seem to be of top concern for people. Before that, we could certainly pull something like that together.
Okay, anyone else? Any other comments? Anita?
Going back to the public consultation day of the 20th, I guess Kelly or Florence, how do you see it rolling out? Is Jennifer as chair? Will she introduce, or it's just a come and go? Okay.
So we envision it to be a come and go for 3 hours. We will have stations set up with different elements of as was proposed in there. Some things a little bit more interactive than others, and kind of an opportunity along the way to mingle with members of the committee and to ask any questions and kind of to represent a real come and go kind of vibe. Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify that there was nobody speaking on behalf of the committee. Yeah.
Yes, Jennifer, you had a comment? Yes, I do. Thank you. So the fact that I'm going to, why are you looking at me like that? The fact that I'm going to fill it out ahead of time, would we like to make a station for that where I can talk about what I found difficult or what they might want to look out for, or
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
we're assuming I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do, but
This will make you do it.
yes,
So.
that's what I thought.
We can certainly make something like that happen. Sure.
Okay, Mark?
Just a thought, just after you said something there about the day and how it's going to unfold. I wonder if it's, and maybe Kelly, you already got this in the go, that we have some kind of name tags or something for those who are the committee members, because I think it's important that the folks coming into the event know who people are. And, there might be people that won't even know, like they won't know who the folks are that were on the committee or staff. So maybe something like that could be done up, Kelly.
Yep, I can do those.
Excellent
Okay,
suggestion.
thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any other comments? So we are happy with the report. We have read through, which, by the way, it was a very good summary of, I forget what you called it, the easy to understand summary. I understood it, so that was really good. Any additions or edits to the things that you have printed off over there? I forget what they're called.
The handout.
Flyers, handouts, yes.
I did receive an email from Mary who sent her regrets for today. She had a couple of comments about the handouts, one being on page 12. There's a line, and I believe that's the Oh, I had it out. Now am I? Anyway, adding the word parking between setting limits to prevent noise, overcrowding, parking, and other problems. So that's,
Oh.
so it'll be on the list that's there, and I can make that happen. And then also advising, that the licensing is for less than 30 nights per stay. So it's not, so just to clarify the intent of it. And the last thing she mentioned, couple of things, which I think would probably, because the draft has already been endorsed by council, this would probably be part of the feedback that would be received. I think 30 minutes is unreasonable. Boost it to an hour, 60 minutes, and that's for response time for a responsible person. And then lastly, also wondering if we could offer a couple of drop-in sessions for owners to review applications pre-submissions before the end of the year. So if there's people are struggling or needing some help, if we had an opportunity to provide some kind of help towards that. So again, I think that those are more feedback pieces as a result of the public consultation, which we can obviously add to that. But those were Mary's comments that she wanted to share tonight.
Good comments. Glenn?
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I'm just wondering, and this is a great format, I'm wondering if at the outset, if we should say something about why is ACW doing an STR? Because not all STR owners may realize the need for it. And just in a simple format, as you have done, Kelly, and I think that would alleviate some concerns as to why we're even engaged in this, because it is for legitimate reasons that we're having to do this. I would offer that.
So, Glenn, to expand on that, I see the short-term rental, easy to understand summary. Are you suggesting that someone read the first paragraph or we have it printed up bigger, or we have a sign saying, why are you here? Because, like, I'm not sure
Yep. Okay. So
what you're looking for.
yep. So what I'm suggesting is at the outset of this, and I'm looking at the short-term rental bylaw, easy to understand. Why are we doing it? Because I'm not sure that all ST owners will appreciate that they're being asked to fill out this form, and it's legitimate reasons. It's just for a concern of a minority number of STR owners that has necessitated this. And the majority are compliant. And I'm just wondering if it would explain to everyone why we're doing it, to get better uptake on it as opposed to negative.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but the very first paragraph says, what is this bylaw for? And it says what it's for. And I would suggest, I don't think that it's because a few number of people aren't doing it correctly. I think that is what propelled us forward. But really, what those few number of people showed us that these communities my thinking is that these communities that have been okay for decades and they all work together, when something sells and an absentee owner comes in, it creates problems. And so it's not necessarily just to address the few that are having problem. It's to protect the communities that we already have going forward. And Florence, help me out here.
I was going to suggest that maybe what we could do is the statement of intent that was created by the committee, that's part of the bylaw. If we maybe put that somewhere. So that statement of intent kind of gives, a background of what the goal is of this whole thing. There is a handout that Kelly created, short-term rental proposed licensing bylaw. It says, what is it? A new licensing bylaw proposed to regulate short-term rentals, ACSW. What is a short-term rental? And then it states the key proposed requirements, and then it also shows the main objectives. Improve community safety and accountability, protect residential character of neighborhoods, ensure fair use of local infrastructure and services, support tourism while addressing nuanced concerns. So maybe in collaboration with that statement of intent, something about, those main objectives could be dealt with, as a means to satisfy that.
Yeah, that was my intent. Yeah, thank you.
So are you, sorry, and I'll get to you, Anita. So are you suggesting like a big billboard, or not billboard, but you know what I mean, thingy?
We have, so at each station, there are display boards, and Kelly will do her magic and her creativity and get these things up there. And we could definitely have something focused on that. So
Is that would satisfy what you're saying? Okay,
Thank you.
Anita?
I was just going to suggest another means of doing that on a loop of some kind of video that, just speaks to, like if Kelly was on a video and it just loops constantly. That way, as people are coming and going, they catch the loop halfway through, but they know it's going to loop again, so they catch it again and don't have to sit and read. But it's a lot more work, I'm sure.
No,
than-
my caution is not, it's kind of like if you're in Christmas carols and you're in that store for 3 hours, you hate the Christmas carol by the time you leave because it's on loop. I don't want us all to hate Kelly. This is what I'm saying. So maybe Kelly could be contained to a corner where we could turn our back on her looping face if we needed to. I think other than that, it's an idea.
It's just
Yeah, Mark?
So if you look at the brochures that and Florence referred to the main objectives, so it does say that in the main objective, but it also says it in the press release too, in the first paragraph. It says, this proposed bylaw is designated to balance the benefits of the short-term rentals in the community with the need to address concerns related to safety, neighborhood compatibility, and long-term housing availability. So it does kind of say that, and basically concerns related to safety. So it is in there, but I think it's also addressed down below that Florence referred to below in the point forms of the main objectives.
So it sounds like we want to emphasize this over and over so people see it. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what the words were. Sorry, I jumped in there. What the words were. Florence talked about pulling out of the bylaw the main objective. I don't have the bylaw ahead of me, but there's something probably in there that we can.
yeah, it was the statement of intent. So what the goal was of the committee in terms of balancing the community interest versus the rights of the renters and the owners as well. So I think we can highlight some of those key points to kind of keep everybody into perspective when moving around the room.
Great suggestions. Does anyone have any more suggestions? Evan, you're looking down, so it looks like you're sleeping, but you are awake, right? Okay. No suggestions there, but he is wide
I'm
awake.
here.
That's good. Okay. So we're happy with the direction this is. Mike?
Yeah, again, just going back to that media release, where it's in that the second paragraph, it references public feedback forum. Is that what you had in mind as far as the have your say section of the ACW website? Is that where we are soliciting that public feedback forum?
Yeah, Kelly, do you want to handle that?
Yes, so that public form, it will be a handout, and then it'll also be an online form with the
Okay.
same questions. So it'll be in various forms. And then we will also have them printed off and available at the municipal office if someone prefers to handwrite it out.
But the online way of accessing is using your terminology. Is it that have your say?
Yes.
Could we perhaps mention that, or at least highlight have your say in that paragraph?
Sure.
So there's a connection there.
Mark?
Kelly, did I see it in here? Or was this another thing you gave me today? The QR code, was that in here? Or was that another thing you gave me today?
Go ahead, Kelly.
That was a different item.
Is it worthy to put it in here or not?
We can add a QR code.
I'm just wondering if folks are coming to the open house and say you can fill the lines, you can fill the forms out online, or here's a paper copy, or you can just scan the QR code.
Yeah, we can have a QR code right to the short-term rental page. Good idea.
Good job, Mark. Okay. Any more comments? Yep, Mike?
Will we have available at the open house samples of the template for the renter's code of conduct and information package? Because I believe we kind of looked at those in the past as far as here's what one might look like. That's kind of falls under the education piece that we committed to.
I'm going to suggest the information package. I'm going to say for sure that with the Renters Code of Conduct, we can do that because we just have to pull out the schedule from the bylaw and it's pretty much there. But as for the information package, a sample information package, I'd have to look at it because you would be getting some documents that would be pertaining to a property, right?
And we had some general information, or at least a welcome package that we looked at a while ago, and it dealt with issues of noise, fireworks, parking, pets, waste, etc. That kind of highlights all the main areas that they should be looking at.
So that one that we looked at previously here at the committee, that one pager that had, here are the facts about what you're,
there was a couple of pages. I think actually that goes back to like the May meeting or something. But
okay, no, we can have something like that available for sure. Yeah.
So is that something you would want me to create on behalf of Kingsbridge, or am I just doing the application thing? Like, is that, because that is part of the package, right? But I don't have a template yet.
Right. So we can, there's a templated piece that's created as part of this that we would provide. And then you could have that and kind of fill in the blanks that this short-term rental has 10 spaces and here's the number to call and here's the responsible person. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Any more comments? Ian?
Is the September 30th too soon to close comments?
I have that circled under mine because we're having a meeting on the 23rd and we're closing comments on the 30th. I'll let staff talk about that.
So we have found in the past that commenting periods that are longer than that are not really a good use of time. The shorter window you give people, the quicker they will respond. We found that 30 days in the past has worked very well. That way, because you'll get an uptake at the beginning and you'll get an uptake just before the end. With having an open house kind of in the middle, that's where we landed on the 30 days. We are proposing, and we'll talk about it, that was the intent a little bit later, to not have a meeting on September 23rd because there really isn't anything substantial to discuss if the commenting period is still open. And then September 30th, the commenting period will close. We will collect all the information and all the data, and then we will meet as per schedule in October. That was the intent there.
Does that satisfy your answer there, Ian? You're okay with that answer? Good. And Mark, did you have something to add?
I'm good. Florence pulled the words right out of my mouth.
I did not see that happen, but I'm glad it did. Okay. Mike, do you have your hand up? You do? Okay,
do.
Mike.
I'm just trying to anticipate some questions that I might get on the weekend and to make sure that the response that I give is consistent with the committee's wishes. Just to run through, and I think the answer is likely going to be the same to all. Somebody comes back and says, oh, wait a minute, I only rent to family, or I only rent a couple of weeks per year, or I only rent to the same people every year and I don't advertise. Do I have to go through the hoops? So I think at this point, and I know we're going to be soliciting feedback on those subjects in the open house as well, but I guess the answer right now is yes, a license is still required even if that's what you do. Am I correct?
Florence?
I'd say that the answer is yes. However, we are in a commenting period right now. If you wish to, put in your feedback that you find that particularly unfair or whatnot, please do so. And then we will consider that feedback and maybe the committee changes their mind on a particular thing. So again, I think you need to lean on that this is a consultation period. And while you maybe don't have all of the answers, the concerns are valid and that they should be shared. And, I would highlight that.
And I'm okay with that. And I agree with that. And it's probably similar questions that we're going to get on September 20th. One additional question, if I may. What personal information that is we're asking for on the application would be available for the public to view?
Florence?
As with any municipal data that's collected, it's always just the name and an address. It's never like it'll relate to a property. It would never be a phone number or an email address or any kind of financial information. That would all be redacted if it was ever requested.
Thank you.
Is that it, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Ian?
I had one comment from Ruth. We're running 2 years out. So with the contract or the license is only good for 1 year, it makes it really tough to rent out, continuing to rent out to the same people. So we've got a 2 year, we're booked out 2 years in advance. We've got about 5 families on the waiting list that will fill you in anytime. So if it's a 1 year contract or 1 year agreement, that makes it hard to rent out for the second year or third year. So she's proposing it should be a 5 year contract like the Ontario Master Business License, with a $60 fee for a 5 year period. So.
Yeah, and I think that is a comment that you would expect in a commenting period. I would suggest that our role here as the committee is not to have the answers. The answer is going to be put it in the commenting period and then we'll discuss it. Like, I mean, that's a valid point. I mean, because everybody's point is valid, whether you agree with it or not, it's their lived experience or whatever, right? So valid point. That's why we're asking, because we can't think of everything. I mean, whether I agree with that or not, doesn't matter because we're a committee and all that, but that's exactly what the commenting period is for. Yep.
I did have one person reach out and suggested that our problem with administration and the amount of time might be solved with a 3-year application process as opposed to a 1 year. And I suggested, please bring that forward to the public consultation, and then we will collect all of that moving forward. So again, at this point, we have the draft, it's been endorsed. We have a public consultation plan here in front of us, and then we'll get the feedback, hopefully a lot of it, and I feel like we will, and that's the whole point. And the more substance that we can get, the more defendable everything will be in the end.
Yeah, Glenn.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. That's where my mind was going, was 3 years. Ian, would you see a challenge with that from your perspective? Yep.
Well, I guess.
I'm going to hold you, both of you right now, because we're going to talk about this after the commenting period, if that's okay, right? Because we might have a 5, a 7, let's give them a multi-year discount. That's not what we're doing right here, right now, right? Okay. So let's focus on, let's get everybody's comments and see how many people commented, or maybe there's better ideas. Like, these are all great ideas, I think. So let's get them all and do this all at once. Does that make sense? Okay, didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm happy to do it. Shorter meeting, right? Okay, are we done with item 4.1? Mike, your hand is up again. Okay, go ahead.
The meetings would not be complete if I didn't have an editorial change that I may be questioning, if I may. On page
Continue
14.
on. We enjoy your editorials and your edits. Keep going.
And this is maybe just misunderstanding on my part. On page 14, what is the renter's code of conduct? One of the bullet points, the very last one actually, ensuring smoke and CO alarms are working. Is that really, are we really expecting the renter to be responsible for that? Or are we suggesting that?
We'll have a look at that and just double check that the intent of that is clean. But thank you so much for pointing that out.
Madam Chair, I'm done.
You keep saying that. Think about it for a minute. I'm going to give you another minute. Does anybody else have any comments? Okay, then moving on to new business. Does anyone have any new business for a future meeting? I think we have enough business going on for the next meeting. Which brings us to item 6, the next meeting. It is supposed to be on September 23rd. The suggestion from the clerk, which I feel is a valid one, is we should probably wait until after the public consultation closes. Is everyone okay with canceling the September 23rd and going on with the regularly scheduled October one? Show of hands if we're all in agreement with that. Okay, great.
So that'd be October 28th.
Is it October 28th? Okay. So, you will be preparing a report based on all the public comments, and it will come out at the regular time of the agenda.
That's correct. So depending on how soon we get it out, I might send it out a few days in advance, depending on how big the package is.
Right.
So as we've done in the past with some of the bylaws that were a bit bigger, a few days in advance doesn't hurt.
Yeah. The 28th is a Monday. Yep, okay. I'll talk to you about that afterwards. All right, can I have a motion or
I don't, did
Amanda?
we say a time on the October 28th?
Oh, it says 7 PM, but I like the 4:30. Is everybody okay with the 4:30?
I'd
Show of
love
hands.
30.
You're not on the committee. Show of hands, please, for 4:30.
It doesn't make any
Okay.
difference.
We're gonna go with 4:30. Sorry, Evan. All right, so can I have a motion for adjournment to a mover and a seconder? Anita and Mike, moved by Anita, seconded by Mike. The short-term rental committee does now adjourn to meet again on October 28th, 2025 at 4:30 PM or at the call of the chair. All in favor of that motion? Motion is carried. Thank you all for your good work, and we'll see you on the 20th.